to present this is primarily because we understand that for us to implement change, ideally, especially for a disease such as obesity, there should be an agreement at least between the doctors, the caregivers, or the parents, and the children living with obesity. Now, what we've learned ideally in the past is that there are actually conflicting perceptions of some weight management issues that were discovered by other studies between adolescents living with obesities and their mothers. And there's also some persistent conflicts or differences in what they think about obesity and how obesity should be managed in terms of responsibility, motivation, and maintenance. And this is the reason why Novo Nordisk actually conducted a series of non-interventional observational survey-based trials called the ACTION trials. The ACTION trials actually are, there are actually a lot. There's one in the US, in Canada, in the rest of the world, and the ACTION Teens is the fourth out of the different ACTION trials. Basically, the ACTION Teens trial is the first study to explore the barriers to effective care in obesity from an international scale, from the perspective of both the actual patient living with obesity, their caregivers, as well as their doctors who are treating them. So the primary objective of this study is basically to identify the perceptions, attitudes, and behaviors and potential barriers to effective obesity care across adolescents with obesity, their caregivers, and their healthcare providers. Now, what is important here is that hopefully, based out of the output from this trial, we are able to generate insights that can help us in different fields, from the education field, government, and other sectors, in our efforts to improve obesity care and support for the adolescents and children living with obesity worldwide. So this study is actually done across 10 different countries. The Asian representation is basically coming from South Korea and Taiwan. So this is a multinational cross-sectional survey-based study conducted in 10 countries. And basically the recruitment was online, general populations and consumer panels, and even the recruitment for HCPs were also done via online physician panels. In terms of participants, there were more than 5,000 adolescents living with obesity, ages 12 to 17, who were recruited in the study. There were 5,389 caregivers of adolescents living with obesity also recruited in the study. And there were 2,323 HCPs, or doctors, who were recruited in the study. Now, most of these doctors have claimed to be treating obesity for more than 10 years. And although not all are obesity specialists, some are in primary care. Now, in terms of demographics, more than half, a little more than half, are male to 56%. 44% of the adolescents living with obesity were female, and the median age, or the mean age, across all participants was 14.8 years. So these are definitely in their teens. As you can see, majority of them, more than 2/3, are diagnosed with obesity class 1. So that's the most predominant obesity class for the participants in the study. Now, what we've noticed here is that when we look at the additional diagnosis for adolescents living with obesity compared to their caregivers and their HCPs, what you would notice here is that a majority of the caregivers are actually unaware that their children, or those that they're taking care of, have additional complications. So as you can see from the HCPs, there are actually more diagnosis of metabolic syndrome, stomach or intestinal problems, depression or anxiety, eating disorders, pre-diabetes. So these are all either metabolic, mechanical, or mental complications of obesity that apparently a lot of caregivers, the ones taking care of these adolescents living with obesity, may not be aware that it exists, no, in their